So cross product, also known as vector product. We saw last time it is given by the formula A cross B equals AB sine theta multiplied with n cap, where we saw that n cap is the unit vector perpendicular to both A and B. So it is perpendicular to the plane of A and B, and it is determined by the right hand palm rule. So one more thing we should understand here is that if you look at magnitude of this cross product, mod of A cross B, it is nothing but AB sine theta. And this scalar quantity AB sine theta, it has a special significance. This actually equals to the area of a parallelogram formed with A and B as adjacent sides. Okay. And that's very easy to understand from the geometry of such a parallelogram. So suppose A and B drawn from a common origin are two vectors like this. So if we draw the parallelogram formed by them, that would look like this figure. We have to just complete the parallelogram by drawing the other two parallel sides. So if this is the vector A, this is the vector B, and this is the angle theta between them, then you can see that within this parallelogram, if you drop a perpendicular over here, so name this the height, because you drop this as a perpendicular. So within this triangle, you can see that h upon b, the magnitude of this vector, which is b, is nothing but perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So that is nothing but sine theta. So that means h has a magnitude of b sine theta. Okay. So now a into b sine theta is nothing but a into h, which is nothing but base into height. Okay. So that is nothing but the area of the parallelogram. So AB sine theta, which is nothing but magnitude of A cross B by definition. So what does that become? Geometrically, it becomes the area of the parallelogram formed by A and B. Okay, so make a quick note of this point over here, that the magnitude of the cross product AB sine theta, geometrically what it represents the area of the parallelogram formed by vectors A and B. Okay, so another point important here is that you can also write magnitude of A cross B equal to area of the parallelogram equals to 2 times the area of a triangle with A and B as adjacent sides. Okay, so that you can understand in this same type of diagram. If you consider this triangle now, now this triangle has exactly half the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so it's the same thing really. You drop this perpendicular, this height and this base. So area of the triangle so whether you're thinking of this triangle or you can also construct the triangle in this manner. This is A and this is B. You can also draw it this way. That means you can draw them instead of from a common origin, you draw them head to tail. So if you do that also, you get the same area of the triangle. You can see in both the cases, this triangle divides this parallelogram into two halves. No, if you use the first diagonal, the two halves is this and that one. And if you use the second diagonal, then it's the other one. So this will also have the same thing. So same concept applies to this triangle as it applies to this triangle. Okay, so hope you've written this down and this is clear. Now, a few more things about the properties of cross product. Let's understand. If A cross B is equal to 0, it implies that theta is either 0 or 180 degrees, or A and B are collinear vectors. Okay. So what does the term collinear mean? That they are either parallel, that is theta equal to 0, or anti-parallel, theta is equal to 180 degrees. So accordingly, the second property follows from this. This is 0, because obviously a vector A is parallel to itself. Okay, next thing in properties of vectors, of cross products of vectors, E cross B is negative of B cross A. In other words, E cross B has a magnitude equal to the magnitude of B cross A. Okay, and the direction of A cross B is opposite to B cross A. So that's very easy to understand. Okay, for example, if we have vectors A and B which are like this, so here E cross B would be AB sine theta into n cap, where you can see that n cap would point in which direction. Can you tell me? Should n cap be going into the plane or should it be coming out of the plane? Just try this out yourself. Apply the right hand palm rule and tell me over here कि ये diagram में A और B जैसे बने हुए हैं, should n cap be going into the plane or should it be coming out of the plane? So what you have to do, you have to place your right hand thumb along A and your right hand fingers along B. So when you place your palm like this, you'll have to place your palm like this on the palm. You'll have to place your palm like this on the screen, as if your thumb is pointing along A and your fingers are pointing towards B. So you see that your palm is pointing in which direction? It's pointing away from you, going into the plane. That's correct, Santosh. So इस केस में क्या होगा? N cap का डायरेक्शन into the plane होगा. Because you place your thumb like this and your right hand fingers so you'll be looking at your knuckles. Your palm is pointing into the plane. Okay. But at the same time, if you notice, what about B cross A? B cross A में magnitude will be BA sine theta, which is the same, but the unit vector will be something else. Let's say that is M cap. Now M cap will be in which sort of direction? Now you're doing B cross A, na? So for that you have to put your thumb along B and your fingers have to be along A. So it will become coming out. This one will become coming out of the plane, because this time for the same two vectors A and B, you'll have to place your thumb along this direction, B's direction, and you'll have to place your fingers along A, because we are doing B cross A. No, we are not doing A cross B. So the first vector is B, the second one. So your palm is facing you. It's facing out. So now if you compare this vector with this vector, you can see they have this property that they are opposite in direction but equal in magnitude. Hence we have this property of cross product that A cross B is minus of B cross A. So hope this is clear fully, people. Okay. Okay. Then the next property is that if you are taking cross product of A with the sum of two vectors B and C, we can apply the distributive principle and make it A cross B plus A cross C. Okay. So इसको कहते हैं distributive property. Okay, now next thing we'll move on to cross products in component form. So this is extremely important. So first of all, let us understand for the base unit vectors I cap, j cap and k cap. If you recall the geometry of them, so if you just imagine, these three unit vectors which are mutually perpendicular like this. Okay. Now keep applying the right hand palm rule and you'll understand how to calculate the cross products between them. So here you can see that obviously I cap cross j cap. If you do this, the angle between the two vectors, this is of magnitude 1, this is of magnitude 1, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. So the magnitude of the cross product should be unity. But what about the direction? So if you have I cap in this direction and j cap in this direction, and you take cross product, उसका direction कैसा हो जाएगा? It will be coming out of the plane, because you will place your right hand thumb along this and your fingers up. So your palm will be pointing outwards towards you. So it is coming out. So now coming out is which direction? It is the positive z axis. So that's why this becomes k cap. I cross j becomes k. And that automatically means that if you take j cap cross I cap, it becomes minus k cap. So this is our first set of formulae in this one. I cross j is k and j cross I is minus k. Now likewise, if you do j cross k, okay, now in this three-dimensional diagram, just imagine you're doing this. You're pointing your thumb upwards, along this. So you're pointing your thumb upwards along this vertical axis, but your fingers are pointing along this side, along this edge over here. So if you place your palm like that, you'll see your palm is again facing towards you, and that is nothing but the x-axis. So it is a unit vector once again, because these two have magnitude 1 and the angle is 90. So it's a unit vector, but it's pointing in which direction? The positive x direction. So j cross k is I, and that automatically means, because of this property of cross product we've seen earlier, that A cross B is minus of B cross A. So if J cross K is I, then K cross J will just become minus of that one. So it will become minus of I cap. And likewise the third one, if you take K cap cross I cap, so again place your thumb along the Z axis and your fingers along the X axis. So you have to place it like this, and you will see your palm is pointing upwards. Now upwards is nothing but the Y axis. So this becomes positive of J cap. So the inverse of that, that is I cross K, should become minus of J cap. So these three sets are the important sets for cross product. So I'll tell you a trick method also how to remember these. Okay. And on the other hand, of course, if you take cross product of any unit vector with itself, it should be 0, because A cross A is 0. So any vector cross product with itself will always give you a null vector. Okay, so the trick to remember this set of formulae is that what we understand that between x, y, and z there is a circularity. So if you are going from x to y, y to z, or z to x, you're going along the correct direction. So I cross j. So going from x to y, the third character is z. So it will be k cap, and you're going in the direction of the arrow that we have drawn, the clockwise arrow. So it will give us positive k cap. Similarly, if I take j cross k, again I'm going from one direction to the other, but in the positive sense. So it will give me plus I cap. And going from z to x, so k cap cross I cap will give me the third unit vector, but with a positive sign because I'm going along the arrows. Okay. But the moment I go opposite to the arrow, like if I take j cross I, now I'm going in the opposite sense, so I will get k cap with a minus sign. Okay. If I take k cross j, I'm going from this to this, from z to y, so I'm going opposite to this arrow, so I'll get minus I cap. So this is a simple tool to remember the set of formulae, that which one of the cross products gives us a minus sign and which one gives us a positive sign. This is an easy way to remember this. Okay, so with this in mind, let's look at a simple example. If I have the vector A as, let's say, 6 I cap, and I have the vector B which is 3 I cap plus 4 j cap, and I want to calculate A cross B, and I also want to find out the magnitude of A cross B. So I have now two ways of doing it. One is I can use the properties of vectors. Okay. Using properties and the cross products of unit vectors. So this is like a formula based kind of method. So what I will do here is I will replace A with its component form 6 I cap, okay, and replace B with itself in component form. Okay. So next what I will do is I'll open this bracket by distributive property. So this will become 6 I cap cross 3 I cap plus 6 I cap cross 4 j cap. So here to here what I've done is I've used the distributive property. Okay. So using that, you can see you can write this as 18 I cap cross I cap plus 24 I cap cross j cap. Now from above what we have learned, you can see that I cap cross I cap will be 0, because any vector cross product with itself is 0, whereas I cross j we had learned earlier that is positive of k cap. So what my final answer is coming out to be is 24 k cap. Okay, so this is becoming A cross B. Okay. So this is the vector A cross B. So obviously its magnitude is going to be how much? Its magnitude is just going to be 24. So I'll just minimize this a little for you to go through fully. Okay. So just make sure you understand all the steps over here and ask me if there's any doubt. Okay, so hope this is clear. Now the second method we can use here is we can actually draw the vectors geometrically. Okay. So first of all, in the xy coordinate system, we see our vectors A, which is 6 I cap, B, which is 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. So you can see that magnitude of A is 6 and A is along the x axis. So how will the vector A look geometrically? The vector A geometrically will look like it's something like this. Along the x axis, its magnitude is 6 units, like this. Whereas if you look at the vector B, magnitude of B you'll realize is 5, and the vector B is at theta equal to 53 degrees with respect to x axis. Because from the components you can see that tan theta is the y component divided by the x component, so 4 by 3. So that means theta is 53 degrees. You can see this. Okay. So in comparison, the vector B now is looking like this. So this angle is 53 degrees and its magnitude is 5. So now geometrically, if we work out A cross B, you can see it is AB sine theta n cap. Now AB sine theta will be nothing but 6 into 5 into sine 53 degrees. Okay, and n cap will be k cap, because if you use the cross product thing here, you see you'll have to place your thumb along A and your fingers along B. So your palm will be pointing out. Okay, so palm faces outwards. So outwards is nothing but positive z axis. So that's why what is your n cap? Your n cap is nothing but positive of k cap. So this becomes 6 into 5 into 4 by 5 k cap. That is nothing but 24 k cap. So that's your A cross B. Okay. So this is obviously very lengthy and tedious. It will not always be the good way of doing the question, because you have to convert from component form to diagram, then you have to figure out what the angle is, then you have to again use right hand palm rule to figure out whether the direction is coming out or going in. So this becomes the easier method. In fact, for the first method, using the properties, we will develop a direct formula also of how to calculate the cross product, but you should understand it logically also. So here note down both the methods. Yeah. Okay, so let's work out a quick question again based on this concept. So suppose vector E is 12 I cap plus 9 j cap, and vector B is minus 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. Then find the magnitude of A cross B and express its direction. That is, give the direction of n cap. Try this out, people, please. So anyone got the answer for this? Okay, so let's work this out. So just replace each of the vectors with their component form values. So this becomes 12 I cap cross product with minus 3 I cap plus 12 I cap cross product with 4 J cap plus 9 J cap cross product with minus 3 I cap plus 9 J cap cross product with 4 J cap. Now when we are solving this, just keep in mind that I cap cross J cap is K cap and J cap cross I cap is minus K cap, and of course I cross I is equal to 0 as is J cross J. So this term will become 0, this term will become 48 K cap, okay. This term will become minus 27 into minus K cap because J cross I is minus K cap, and finally this term will again become 0. So we will have 48 plus 27 K cap. So we will have 75 K cap. So that becomes our A cross B. So magnitude of A cross B is 75 and N cap is equal to K cap, that is along positive Z axis. So this is the complete meaning of this. Okay, so next thing we will see is that this kind of operation we will convert it into a general formula. Okay. So general formula for cross product in component form. So first we will start with two-dimensional component form. So if we have the vector E, which is having Ex and Ey as x and y components. Okay. So E cross B. So again, when we open this bracket, you can see it becomes Ex into Bx, I cap cross I cap plus Ex By into I cross J plus Ay Bx into J cap cross I cap plus Ay By into J cap cross J cap. So you can see that these two terms, they are null vectors, this and this, whereas this term is your positive of k cap and this term is your negative of k cap. So in the general formula, this reduces to axby minus aybx into k cap. So this becomes a sort of general formula for A cross B when A and B are expressed in I cap j cap or two-dimensional notation. Like this, there's a general formula for three-dimensional notation also. Now, if you notice, we can further shorten this. Okay, we can also express this in expressed in what is called determinant form. So this quantity Ax by minus Ay bx. This can be expressed as the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay. So this determinant is expressed as, so determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. So suppose this is, by definition, this is nothing but the product of these two terms, that is Ed minus the product of these two terms. This. Okay. So therefore, if we have a determinant which has Ex, Ay, Bx, By, this is our 2 by 2 matrix, then its determinant by definition becomes Ex, By minus of Ey, Bx. So this becomes a very simple formula. So therefore, we can just say that E cross B in 2D determinant form or two-dimensional component form is just the determinant of this matrix Ax, Ay, Bx, By into the unit vector k cap. So this becomes the determinant form of expressing this. So just make a note of this quickly, then we'll see some examples. Okay, so let's work this out with some examples. So for example, we have vector p. We want to find out p cross q. So we just apply this formula. P cross q will become the determinant of a matrix which has the first row as p's components and the second row as q's components into k cap. So this will become 1, 2 because p's x component you can see is 1, p's y component is 2, and similarly q's x component is 2 and q's y component is minus 3. So this will become 2 minus 3 k cap. The next step we will solve this determinant. So it will become 1 into minus 3 minus of 2 into 2. Okay. So that becomes minus 3 minus 4. So that becomes minus 7 k cap. So P cross Q becomes minus 7 k cap, which means that magnitude of P cross Q is 7 and its direction is minus k cap, that is negative z axis. So just make a note of this quickly, this example, then try out couple of examples yourself. So just try out these three examples quickly and send me the answers. Okay, so I'll just verify your answers. Santosh and Gazanfar. So the first one, A cross B, just make a 2 by 2 matrix. E's components are 3, minus 4, minus 12, 16 for B. So this becomes 48, okay, minus 48, K cap. So it becomes a null vector. Okay. And if you pay close attention, this is very easy to understand why it's a null vector. Because if you see this and this, you can see that the vector B is minus 4 times the vector E. Okay. That means B is opposite or anti-parallel. Okay. If A is a vector like this, then B is a vector like this. So obviously the angle between them is 180 degrees and the cross product is 0. Okay, so it's not surprising that we are getting the cross product as 0. Second one, so this will become 2 minus of minus 6 k cap. So it will become 8 k cap. So A cross B is this. So that means magnitude of A cross B is 8 and direction n cap is equal to k cap. That means positive z axis. That is the direction. Now let's come to the third and final one. So A cross B in this becomes this. So it becomes minus 4 minus of 6 becomes minus 10 k cap. So A cross B is minus 10 k cap. So that now implies that the magnitude of A cross B is 10 and direction, the unit vector is minus k cap. So it is along the negative z axis. So these should have been your answers. For whatever reason, you might not have got this correct, but just check out the calculation. Santosh, your second one is correct, first one is also correct, but some others have not got the answers correctly. So just verify, make sure you understand this. Okay, so hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the final part of the cross product methods, which is the three-dimensional cross products. So three-dimensional component form of cross products. So if we have vectors A and B expressed in three dimensions with all three components. Okay. So when we take the cross product, we will see that we get whole lot of terms. And like we get, so basically it is like ax bx, sorry, ax ey az, bx by bz. So we get cross product of this with this, then this with this, then this with this. Okay. So that gives us ax bx, but that will go with I cross I. So that will be 0. Okay. Plus ax by I cross j. So that will become k. Plus ax bz I cross k. Okay. Then we will have this one cross product with this, and this. So that will give us another row of terms. Ay bx j cross I, okay, plus ay by j cross j, plus ay bz j cross k. Okay. And then finally we'll have another row of terms, which is this one cross product with this and this. So we'll have az. So obviously this becomes very lengthy. So we have to make a shortcut formula for this, and we'll come to that formula very soon. So k cross j plus az bz k cross k. Okay. Now in this we will use that circular symmetry. So from this you can see that I cross j is k, j cross k is I, and k cross I is j. And the reverse of this, j cross I is minus k, and things like that. So when you do all that over here, you'll see that these three terms become 0. This is 0, this is 0, this term here is 0. But other terms, I cross j is k, okay, but j cross I is minus k. Similarly, I cross k is minus j, but k cross j, sorry, k cross I is plus j. Okay. Similarly, this k cross j is I, but this is j cross k is minus I, and this is I cap. So when you put together all this, we get the result that finally it is uh, Ay bz minus by, or write it like this, Az by goes with I cap, because that is this term. I cap term is here and here. Plus similarly, when you take the j cap term, it is Ez bx minus ax bz j cap, plus the k cap term will be like this. So this is a very complicated formula to remember directly. So we don't make use of this formula directly. Instead, what we do is this formula is also written in the determinant form. So just make a note of this first, then we'll discuss the formula in determinant form. Okay, so now let us look at this in determinant form. So for that, let us first recall the concept of determinant of 3 by 3 matrix. So a 3 by 3 matrix will consist of 3 rows and 3 columns. Let's say the first row we write as A1, A2, A3. Second row as B1, B2, B3. And third row as C1, C2, C3. So this one's determinant is given by a process where what you do is you first take A1 out. Okay. So when you take A1 out, you remove the first row and first column. So you're left with second row and second column. So you multiply A1 with the determinant of those terms. Okay. Then similarly you take A2 out. Okay. But you always take A2 out with a minus sign. So this is something extra to remember. There's an additional minus sign when you take A2 out. Now once you take A2 out, leave out the second column. So you're left with first and third column. So it is B1, B3, C1, C3. Okay. And then similarly you take A3 out. Now A3 will again come with a positive sign just like A1. Only the middle term A2 comes with a negative sign. So take A3 out, so take the third column out. So you're left with first and second column. So that is B1, B2, C1, C2. And then just solve these as normal 2 by 2 matrices. So this is A1 into B2, C3 minus B3, C2 minus A2 into B1, C3 minus B3, C1 plus A3 into B1, C2 minus B2, C1. So this is the process of solving a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay. So here we can see A cross B can be expressed very simply as first draw a 3 by 3 matrix. Now the first row, write it as the unit vectors I, J, K. The second row, write it as the components of A. So AX, AY, and AZ. And the third row, write it as the components of B. Okay. So so next is just apply this method. So take I cap out. Okay. So you have the second and third row, rather columns. Okay. Then take negative of the second term. So minus J cap out. So the first and third columns plus K cap. Now take the third column out. So you are left with first and second column. So AX, AY, BX, BY. And now just solve these. When you solve these, you'll see you'll get this formula. You'll get AY, BZ minus AZ, BY into I cap. Then there's a minus sign, remember here. Okay. Then again a plus sign here. Okay. And then you can take the minus sign inside this. So you'll see you'll get this exact same formula. So this is the formula. Okay, so make a note of this quickly and then we'll see an example of how this calculation is done. It's pretty easy once you're familiar with this. Okay, so let's look at a quick example. Suppose this is the vector A and the vector B is this, and I want to calculate A cross B and the magnitude of A cross B, both these things. Okay, so what I'll do here is very simple. A cross B, I'll make a 3 by 3 matrix. The first row will be the unit vectors. The second row will be A's components. So just copy paste them 3, 1, 2. And second row will be B's, sorry, third row will be B's components. So that is 1, minus 2, and minus 1. You just be careful of copying everything properly without any mistake with algebraic signs and all that. And then just solve this determinant. So the first term comes out from the row and you're left with second and third column. So 1, 2, minus 2, minus 1. Then the second term always comes out with a minus sign, don't forget that. So j cap will come out with a minus sign, minus j cap, and you have first and third column. So 3, 2, 1, minus 1. And then again the third term comes out with a positive sign, so plus k cap, and you're left with first and second column. So that is 3, 1, 1, minus 2. Okay. And then you just solve this. So this is minus 1, minus 4. sorry, minus plus 4. So this will become minus 1 minus of minus 4 into I cap minus of this term now. This is minus 3 minus 2. So j cap, okay, plus, now again this is minus 6 minus 1 k cap. So this is becoming 4 minus 1, that is 3 I cap. 3 plus 2, 5, minus minus cancels out, so plus 5 j cap and minus 7 k cap. So first of all, our vector cross product becomes this. So this is our answer to the first part. And then for magnitude of this, we have to just take the mod of this vector. So that is 9 plus 25 plus 49. So it's square root of 83. That becomes the magnitude. This becomes the vector. Okay, so this is a method of solving cross products in component form. And as you can see that it's nothing very complicated. Like the derivation was lengthy and complicated. But once you know this determinant method, it is just a couple of steps. First, write the rows and columns properly in the determinant, then solve from this step to this step, and then solve from this step to this step, and that's it. You have your answer. So just make sure you revise this very carefully and do a couple of questions based on this from your module, etc. Okay, and you should be set with vectors. Okay, make sure this week you revise vectors very carefully and work out some examples and things from your module. And next week we will pick up this thing. We will pick up forces. So the next chapter you can prepare for it beforehand. Okay, you can prepare for it beforehand by going through your module and all that. That will be the forces chapter, forces and Newton's laws of motion. Okay. So that will have some application of vectors also eventually. So make sure you revise vectors properly. Okay, that's it for today, people. Then all the best.